Back in 1999, Sean Combs, aka Diddy, said this.
Charges and allegations against me are 100% false, and I feel confident that in the next couple of days that I'll be vindicated.
If you are wondering what allegations Diddy was denying, he was accused of shooting up a club, possession of an illegal firearm, bribery, and shooting an innocent woman. He denied all of these back then, and he was eventually not punished for the shooting. In fact, Diddy denied even having a gun that night at all.
On Sunday evening, I went to Club New York, and under no circumstances whatsoever did I have anything to do with a shooting. I do not own a gun, nor did I possess a gun that night. I had nothing to do with a shooting in this club. I want to make this 100% clear. I had nothing to do with a shooting in this club.
But if we take a trip to the future, and by the future I mean 2024, and scroll through one of Brother Love's latest lawsuits, Diddy allegedly bragged and threatened producer Lil Rod by stating that he can shoot people and get away with it. Particularly, he allegedly bragged that he was responsible for the same shooting you just saw him deny, and that he forced the then 19-year-old Shine to take the fall for him. And if you are still confused about what you just heard, then let me break it down for you. Diddy allegedly shot a woman in the face. He denied he did it, then he bribed the witnesses. Well, allegedly. Then he allegedly forced Shine to take the fall for all of these. Shine did almost 9 years in prison because of this shooting. So if you are wondering what exactly led to this shooting and how Diddy supposedly got away with the crime, then stick with me, fam, and let's take a trip back to 1999. Back in 1999, Diddy's label Bad Boy Records was in disarray. Biggie Smalls was unfortunately killed in 1997. Craig Mack was no longer on the label, and Mace left the label in April of that same year. So it was up to 19-year-old Shine to be Bad Boy's new rap star. Shine was signed in 1998. He was freestyling outside a barbershop on Church Avenue in Brooklyn when DJ Clark Kent heard his rhymes and took him to Bad Boy studio.
I'm getting better for you, and I heard you were discovered outside a barbershop.
Yeah, man, I was rapping every day. You understand? I just had fever. One day I just finished getting my little cut, and I just seen this cat, just walked up to him, like, yo, I rap. You understand? Just started spitting.
Shine freestyled for Diddy and got signed on that same day. He got a multi-million-dollar advance, 3 cars of his choice, and he was also given 2 houses, and he had 100% of his publishing rights. All he had to do in return was make 5 albums for Bad Boy. Shine became the new face of Bad Boy Records. During this period, Shine was like Diddy's shadow, as you would almost always see him next to his label boss. Shine was gearing to release his debut album when his life and career changed forever on the 27th of December, 1999. Remember, Shine was always seen with Diddy, and this night was no different. Shine, Puffy, and Puffy's girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, were all at Club New York on West 43rd Street in Times Square to celebrate the upcoming release of Shine's debut album. Diddy's bodyguard, Anthony Wolf Jones, was also at the club with them. Diddy bumped into a man known as Matthew Scar Allen at the club and spilled champagne on him. Scar was no ordinary person. He was one of those serious dudes in New York. He was a popular name on the streets, a gangster, and even Shine knew very well who Scar was. So this champagne spill quickly turned to a full-blown altercation. Scar was at the club with his friend Julius Jones and a couple other friends, and this supposed disrespect didn't sit well with them. Someone from Scar's crew then throws a stack of cash at Diddy's face, and this was when all hell was let loose. Now, from here on, there are different versions of what happened. According to the prosecutors, Shine pulled out his gun and went full Tony Montana, Scarface, spraying aimlessly into the crowd. But according to Shine, that's not exactly what happened. Shine states that he only pulled out his strap after he saw Julius Jones doing the same, and he was just fast enough to shoot him in the shoulder. Shine stated that he had to use his gun so as to protect Diddy and his girlfriend. After this first gunshot was heard, the club security comes in, grabs Shine, and his gun then goes off in the air. Unfortunately, in the midst of all this chaos, an innocent woman, Natanya Rubin, was struck in the face by a bullet. In fact, the woman had a bullet lodged in her cheek while 2 other people in the club were also injured on the night.
3 people inside the club were injured, 2 of them critically, including a young woman with a bullet lodged in her cheek.
A number of eyewitnesses state that Diddy also pulled out his gun. In fact, Natanya Rubin insisted that it was Diddy who shot her in the face. But according to Brother Love, he did not even have a weapon on him at all.
Prosecutors then say one of Combs' associates, 19-year-old Jamal Barrow, also known as the rapper Shine, opened fire, while Combs reportedly pulled out a pistol of his own.
After the shooting, Club New York is turned upside down with everyone running for their lives. Puffy and J-Lo managed to get out of the club and enter the backseat of Diddy's Lincoln Navigator. Other people in this car were Diddy's bodyguard, Wolf, the driver, Wardell Fenderson, and they somehow left the club without Diddy's 19-year-old protege. Diddy's car realized the need for speed in a high-speed chase, and they took the cops on the run. The car swerved around a police blockade, ran 11 red lights before they were eventually stopped by the police.
Combs and Lopez fled the club, speeding away in his chauffeured Jeep. 3 people inside the club were injured, 2 of them critically, including a young woman with a bullet lodged in her cheek. Police say a high-speed chase involving Combs, Lopez, and 2 of his men riding up front spanned 20 blocks up 8th Avenue, through at least 11 red lights.
After they were stopped, the cops found a pistol under the front passenger seat of the car, while another gun was found on the floor along the route where the car sped past. This second gun was allegedly thrown from the car. Shine was found with a gun and arrested in the club, while Diddy, J-Lo, and every other person who was involved in the incident all spent the night in the slammer. Jennifer spent 14 hours behind bars before she was eventually bailed. Unfortunately, the damsel in handcuffs was said to be crying unintelligibly and sobbing uncontrollably. Shine and Diddy were also bailed out as well, and this is when Sneaky Diddy allegedly started trying to buy his way out of the crime. Brother Love reportedly tried to bribe his driver with $50,000, telling him to take the fall for the gun that was found in the car. He also offered the driver a $40,000 diamond ring that was given to him by J-Lo.
And I just want to make you feel like comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Make your family feel comfortable.
The trial started almost a year after the shooting. And from the moment the shooting happened till the trial began, Shine went from being Diddy's shadow or right-hand man to no longer being seen around him. Simply put, Brother Love no longer showed any love to his protege Shine. Shine stated that Puffy did everything possible to disassociate himself from him. Diddy stopped talking to him, and he didn't even want to release Shine's debut album anymore. This trial lasted 7 weeks. Diddy assembled an all-star team of attorneys as he hired the late O.J. Simpson's former lawyer, Johnny Cochran, and Benjamin Brafman, who is famous for defending the leader of the Gambino crime family, Sammy the Bull Gravino. Despite the ongoing trial, Puffy and Jennifer Lopez attended the Grammys with J-Lo wearing that iconic green dress that almost crashed the Grammys website. Many believe that she even wore that dress to distract everyone from Diddy's charges.
She wore that dress because Puffy was in a little bit of trouble then, and it was a way to sort of deflect attention from him because you were looking nowhere but right there.
Jennifer's barely there Versace gown did more than raise eyebrows on the red carpet. The dress caused a sensation on the Grammy website.
But for Shine, there was no partying for him. There was no attending the Grammys. He was charged with attempted murder, assault, possession of an illegal firearm, and reckless endangerment. Diddy and his bodyguard Wolf were charged with possession of an illegal firearm and bribery.
Sean Puffy Combs faced the possibility of 15 years in jail on charges of gun possession and bribery.
The biggest controversy of that night was whether Diddy was one of the shooters and whether he was the one who shot Natanya Rubin in the face or not. Several eyewitnesses say they saw Diddy shooting in the club that night, including the victim herself. However, Diddy hosted a press conference before the trial started and practically stated that all the allegations against him are false, and the only thing true are the words coming from his mouth.
On Sunday evening, I went to Club New York, and under no circumstances whatsoever did I have anything to do with a shooting. I do not own a gun, nor did I possess a gun that night. I had nothing to do with a shooting in this club. I want to make this 100% clear. I had nothing to do with a shooting in this club.
The conference goes on for a while, but I'm just going to summarize the most important details for you. Everyone else is lying. Puffy had nothing to do with the gun, and it just happened to be found in his car.
Mr. Combs went by himself in a limo with Miss Lopez, went to a club. He did not possess a gun. She did not possess a gun. Whatever happened at the club had nothing to do with him. It's a good question if Sean Puffy Combs is the driver. It's not a good question when there are shots fired and the driver drives off. Did Sean Puffy Combs tell him to drive away? No.
There were 3 guns that were involved in the shooting. Shine used one of them, the second was the one found in Diddy's car, and the police saw the third one being thrown out of the car while chasing Puffy's vehicle. What's even more interesting is that all 3 guns were from the same company. They had the same ammunition, and they were of the same model. This means that all 3 guns were purchased together, isn't it? But that's not the case. These 3 guns were illegal Smith & Wessons that were stolen from Georgia. Puffy's driver on the night, Wardell Fenderson, stated that when he dropped Puffy and J-Lo at the club that night, he saw Brother Love holding a black handgun in the backseat of the SUV. That's another witness who stated he saw Puffy with a gun. Now, it is at this point that all the alleged bribery incidents began. Diddy allegedly tried to bribe his driver to take the fall for the gun that was found in his car. The man who Diddy spilled champagne on, Scar, stated that he was offered $250,000 to not testify at the trial. But Scar also alleged that he received a tip that he would be killed if he had gone to collect the money. And those aren't the only people Brother Love allegedly tried to bribe. According to the lawsuit filed by Lil Rod, Diddy allegedly bragged that he was able to bribe jurors and other witnesses. Natanya Rubin's friend, who was also a witness on the night, had initially told the cops that Diddy was the one who shot her friend. But when she testified at the trial, she changed her story and told the court that she was tying her shoe and may not have seen who shot the gun. Despite all the claims and evidence, Brother Love and his bodyguard were eventually found not guilty of all charges. Puff Daddy then changed his name to Diddy to remove himself from the incident and improve his brand. However, for Diddy's protege, it seems Shine was thrown under the bus by his label owner. Shine was found guilty of first-degree assault, reckless endangerment, and possession of an illegal firearm. Shine stated that the club bouncer that testified that she fell on top of Diddy and never found a gun was testifying against him.
Like, how do you call a witness to testify against your comrade?
That witness Shine is referring to is Sharice Myers, a bouncer who was working inside Club New York when shots rang out that December night in 1999. In court, Myers claimed that she fell on top of Puffy during the shooting and said that he did not have a gun. But even as her testimony helped exonerate Puffy, it implicated Shine.
Shine also explained that he told Diddy that the witness was going to be lying against him. But Puffy didn't care because the testimony was going to help him.
Shine has maintained from the beginning that Myers' testimony, asserting that he was the first to open fire on that fateful night, is untrue.
If I'm telling you that she's lying, and you saying, hey, well, she helping me, but I'm facing 25 years, and you looking at probation. Yeah, those are the things that, you understand, are unacceptable. You don't have to hold my hand. You don't have to do nothing, but don't try to hurt me.
Until today, the woman who was shot in the face, Natanya Rubin, continues to insist that Brother Love was the one who pulled the trigger.
Hey, how you doing? So, here today about this latest lawsuit with the P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, Sean Puffy Combs, whatever you want to call him, lawsuit that has come out involving the producer Lil Rod. So basically his last 2 lawsuits, or last 2 major lawsuits, the one with Cassie, she made mention that Puffy made her carry his guns into nightclubs and wherever they went, and he threatened her to make her feel like she had to do so. While there were lots of things of importance, that stood out to me, and I'm going to tell you why. In this lawsuit with the producer Lil Rod, they were both SA'd by him and threatened and physically harmed. But in this lawsuit, he appears to be a very young producer to me, but he said something very specific. As a means of threatening him, Puffy said, that's why I shot up the club in New York back in 1999 and let Shine take the fall for it. Let me tell you why that's of utmost importance to me. Because I am the woman who he shot in the face.
Natanya also stated in some interviews that the 9mm bullet that she was shot with is still lodged in her face, and that she's willing to have it removed if it can be used as evidence in Diddy's latest trial.
It's dismissive to think that if someone files a lawsuit that they should be ridiculed. If I didn't suffer, I'm willing to have a doctor remove a part of the 9mm bullet in my face so that they can use it as evidence if need be for this trial.
You would be willing to do
and
that
it may
now?
cost me my life, but that I'm willing to do. So what do they have to say to that? I have 9 bullets. I'm sure I can spare one. The gravity of the danger and the peril that I face and that I'm exposed to for having my say now, for what was done to me 24 years ago, is not lost on me. But let me make clear beyond a shadow of a doubt. I am not now, nor have I ever been suicidal. I love life, and I'm grateful that God spared my life back on that fateful day on December 27th, 1999. I'm a living miracle.
So, what do you think? Do you believe Diddy was responsible for shooting this woman? And do you believe he made Shine take the fall for his crime? Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay safe, everyone.